In this problem, what they have given is G is given. Okay, G, a vector quantity is given, and you are asked to calculate the flux of G coming out of the entire surface. So, when you consider the surface of a cylinder like this, there are three surface areas, right? This is the top part, this is the bottom part, and this is the side part. Okay, so when you are calculating, you know that to calculate any flux, it will be, say here it is G dot ds. Surface integral of G dot ds will give you the total flux. So you are asked to calculate the flux of G. What you have to do, you have to take the surface integral of G. But how to take it? You can take it separately as three surface integrals. That is surface integral of top part G dot ds plus the total G dot ds surface integral is equal to, can be divided into three parts. Surface integral of G dot ds for the top part plus surface integral of G dot ds for the bottom part plus surface integral of G dot ds for the side. Okay, so this is how you should take. And the area, you know, that top part, it is projecting outward. So this is in this direction. In case of bottom, it should be again projecting outwards. So it will be in this direction. And sides, it will be radially outwards. Okay. So here you know that it is rho phi z. It is a cylindrical coordinate system, and therefore the coordinates will be rho phi and z. You are considering cylindrical coordinate system. So first thing, you have to identify the coordinate system. Okay, so that is cylindrical coordinate system. Rho phi z are the coordinates. So here you can see that in the z, this is the z direction. So this will be in unit vector az, and here it will be in minus az direction. The direction of flux will be, for the top part it will be unit vector az, and for bottom part it will be minus az, the direction of the flux. And for sides it will be the radial direction, that will be a rho. So you have to remember this much parts, and now you can proceed on to the problem. So G value is given as 10 e raised to minus 2z. So it is given. So you can again rewrite it in this page. G is equal to 10 e raised to minus 2z into rho a rho plus az. So it is only having rho and z components. Rho 10 e raised to minus 2z. Okay, so to calculate the top part, what you have to do? Top part means it is in which plane? So this is the cylinder. So in this case, this is z direction, phi and rho. So rho is here throughout. The rho is the here. You know that z is varying. Sorry, rho is constant. So if the height is given, height of the cylinder is given, how you can take it? Rho, here the values are given. Rho is equal to 1 and z varying from 0 to 1. Okay, so z varying from 0 to 1 means here you can take z is equal to 0, here you can take z is equal to 1. Radius will be varying, phi will be varying. Rho will be varying from 0 to 1 and phi will be varying from 0 to 2 pi. Okay, but these two are varying, but for top part z is constant at 1 and for bottom part z is constant at 0. That too we are doing here. So to get ds, to get the surface integral g dot ds, what you have to do? Ds part will be, it is a rho phi plane. So d rho into rho d phi. All these we have covered in the early parts or the beginning of first module. For ds, it will be d rho into rho d phi. So it will be rho d phi. Again, g dot ds, you know that for ds, this is in rho phi plane, means it is unit vector az. Okay, so here when you compare, g part is given. Okay, so when g part is given, to get g dot ds, what you will do? 10 e raised to minus 2z into rho d phi. Again applying the limits. Rho is varying from 0 to 1 and phi is varying from 0 to 2 pi. Z value you substitute as Z is equal to 1. So it will be 10 e raised to minus 2 into integral rho d rho into integral d phi. Phi varying from 0 to 2 pi and rho varying from 0 to 1. So it will be 10 e raised to minus 2 into rho square by 2, that is given here. Rho square by 2 within the limit 0 to 1. D phi on integrating you get phi, again limit 0 to 2 pi. On multiplying you get 10 pi e raised to minus 2. The same method you are applying in bottom part also. The only difference is instead of AZ you give minus AZ. So there will be a negative sign here. Instead of AZ it will be minus AZ. Why? Because area here it is AZ, here it is minus AZ. That is the only difference. The rest of it is same. So negative sign is coming, and based on that what is happening here, it is and again Z value is varying. If for top part Z is 1, here Z is 0. So on substituting you get e raised to minus 2 into 0, which is 1. So minus 10 pi you are getting. So one is top part, it is a positive value as the unit vector was AZ, but bottom part it is negative as the unit vector is minus AZ. Second thing is, in both cases, for both top and bottom, it is rho phi plane. Rho phi plane means, what is the meaning? Both rho and phi are varying, but Z is constant. So for top part, Z is constant as Z is equal to 1. So wherever you have Z, you take it as a constant and substitute for Z as 1. Here for bottom part, you substitute Z is equal to 0. Because for both top and bottom the variables are rho and phi. So whenever you integrate, variables are only rho and phi. If you find Z, for top you substitute Z equals 1 and for bottom you substitute Z is equal to 0. So this is how you integrate for top and bottom. Now coming to the side part. Side part, you know that rho is constant, right? Rho is constant at 1. So it is phi z plane. Why you say phi z plane? Because varying is phi and z. Phi varies from 0 to 2 pi and z varies from 0 to 1. Again you check g. G value in question is given as 10 e raised to minus 2z into 10 e raised to minus 2z into rho a rho plus az. Okay, this is the G part, but ds you know that it is phi z plane. So rho d phi dz into unit vector a rho. So only this will come. So G dot ds will be 10 e raised to minus 2z into rho d phi dz. Hope it's clear. And rho square you substitute as rho is equal to 1. So this will be reduced to 1. So what you have to integrate is 10 e raised to minus 2z dz d phi. Z varying from 0 to 1 and phi varying from 0 to 2 pi. That we are doing here. Phi d phi, on integrating you get phi with the limit 0 to 2 pi. Then e raised to minus 2z dz, on integrating you get e raised to minus 2z divided by minus 2 within the limit 0 to 1. On substituting you get this. Now the total phi will be adding the three values, I top plus I bottom plus I side. We integrated in three ways, in three steps, and on adding these three you will be getting 0. So this is a lengthy procedure to calculate flux, right? You have to separately calculate top part, bottom part and side part. On adding these three you are getting the value as 0. But in question they asked to calculate the flux and to confirm the result using divergence theorem. So for exam, if they are asked to simply calculate the flux, you just have to apply divergence theorem and calculate the answer. Only if you are asked to confirm the result with divergence theorem, you need to use the two methods. So first method was not applying divergence theorem, you directly calculated the flux by considering each and every surface. So the second method is applying divergence theorem. It is very simple. What do you know about divergence theorem? Divergence theorem states that the total flux, that is equal to G dot ds, it is equivalent to volume integral of, this is surface integral. Surface integral of 0 ds is equal to volume integral of del dot g dot dv. Okay, so it converts surface integral to volume integral. Surface integral of 0 ds is equal to volume integral of del dot g dv. Okay, so on applying this, you know already, you know g. So the first step is you have to calculate del dot g. Del dot g you have to calculate, and what you are doing is to calculate del dot g, 1 by rho into dou by dou rho of rho 0 plus 1 by rho into dou by dou phi into g phi plus dou gz by dou z. So third, in case of cylindrical coordinate system, this is how to calculate divergence. Del dot g, z component will be dou gz by dou z, but for rho and phi, these are the components. And what you are doing is g phi and g rho is there. G rho is equal to 10 e raised to minus 2z into rho, that is rho part, and g phi part will be 10 e raised to minus 2z and gz will be 0. Why? Because in the question g was given as 10 e raised to minus 2z into rho a rho plus az. This was the question. So it is only having rho component and z component. So 10 e raised to minus 2z into rho is the rho component. 10 e raised to minus 2z is the z component. No, this is the phi component. Phi component, and z component is 0 because it does not have any z component. We'll check the question again. Yes, it has rho component and z component. So phi component is 0. So this is z. So here this is the z component and phi component will be 0. So hope you understood this part. So to calculate del dot g, what do you do? That is given here. 1 by rho into dou by dou of rho into 10 into e raised to minus 2. So you are substituting this part here. Okay. Then g phi component is 0. So second part is 0. Third component dou by dou z of 10 e raised to minus 2. So you are substituting it here. So you directly calculate del dot g and you get it as 0. So there is no need to even calculate volume integral because volume integral of del dot g is volume integral of 0, which is 0. So this is a very simple method when you apply divergence theorem for calculating flux. So in this problem what we did is we tried to calculate electric, it's not electric flux because they have given a vector say g and you are trying to calculate the flux of g. Okay, flux. You calculated the flux of G. Flux of G you calculated in two methods. First method was you calculated the flux corresponding to each surface and you added up. It's a lengthy method. And the second method was applying divergence theorem. When you applied divergence theorem, it is a very simple and you got the answer in two steps. So in for exam, if you are asked to just calculate, you go for the second method, applying divergence theorem. In the question, if they ask to calculate the flux and confirm the result using divergence theorem, you have to do in two methods and you have to show that the result is same for both cases. If you are simply asked to calculate the flux, the better method is to apply divergence theorem and you will get the answer in very simple step. How to apply divergence theorem? First is you calculate the divergence del dot g. Second step, you take psi as volume integral of del dot g dv. So in these two steps, you can calculate the flux by applying divergence theorem. Thank you.